Thursday. I'm starting just a couple minutes early today so that everyone has time to jump in. So today we're going to be talking about monthly routines and spreads, and we were supposed to talk about this last week, but my internet crashed and I couldn't get back on with Facebook, and it was just a mess. So today we were going to talk about, we were going to do just some St. Patty's Day doodles. Hi Elizabeth, good morning. So I was just going to do some St. Patty's Day doodles, but we're going to skip those because you all voted to go back and finish our monthly spread talk. Hi Alice. So that's what we're going to be talking about. I'm going to go ahead and share out our live link just to a couple of places where some people might be hanging out who want to join us, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Yeah, Elizabeth, I'm sorry. Last week my internet crashed. I think they were doing some work on the lines in my neighborhood, and so my internet went out. I couldn't get back on. It was a huge mess, but hopefully that won't happen this week. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed that everything is working the way it should. So I'll go ahead and get the link shared out, and we'll go ahead and get started. So how are you guys doing this morning? What's everybody been up to since last week? Anything big? Any big projects, big plans, big goals that you've been working on? We did a whole bunch of decluttering over the weekend. We got rid of so much stuff on Craigslist, which was awesome. It was very productive, so I was really happy about it. All right, get this going. Let's see here. Hi Yvonne, glad you made it. Okay, we'll send this out. All right. So I finished after last week, after our live crashed on us. I went ahead and finished my spread for March because I obviously needed it to get on with my life. But we're going to go back and I'm going to show you guys the process of what I do once I have that March page made, because I've been getting a lot of questions from people about so I've made my monthly page, but what do I do now? And they're having a hard time keeping up with it as a routine, just because they get lost, I think, in all the journal pages. So that's what I want to talk about, and I just want to kind of walk you guys through my process. It's very simple. It's not, once you've seen it a couple times, I think it's all going to click, and you'll be fine. But I think at first it can be just kind of confusing for people who are used to maybe a more structured planner. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So let me pull you guys around here, and then I'll check the comments and see if you guys have any questions before we get started. So, okay, I see, oh, hi CJ, glad you made it. Oh, good, you've got a visitor. So, awesome. Okay, let me see here. Let me get you guys a good view as we get started. I know a couple weeks ago I watched the video replay, and it was a terrible angle that I had you guys at, so I'm going to try to get you a really good one here. Okay. Okay. So, hi, Jamila. Wow, what a pretty name. Glad you're here. Okay, so let's see. Let me go back up through the questions before we get started. I see Elizabeth says, how am I feeling? Morning sickness? No, luckily, I didn't announce my pregnancy publicly until all of that stuff had kind of come to an end. I also, a few weeks ago, I dealt with pregnancy vertigo, which if you've never heard of it, count yourself lucky. I had never heard of it. This is my third pregnancy. It's actually my fourth pregnancy, excuse me. My fourth pregnancy, third baby. I had never heard of pregnancy vertigo, but I got it, and it took me off my feet for a whole week. I was crashed out in bed and could barely move, and I don't wish it on anybody. It was awful. But I'm through all of that, and I'm feeling really good. I'm at about 15 weeks now, so we're past all the danger parts, and we're really feeling very good about celebrating now. So, okay, let's get going. Okay, so this is my March page, and this is what we started to make last week before our live crashed on us. So real fast, let me go ahead and walk you through what you're looking at here. So up here I put my top 3 goals for the month. Those are just my top 3 projects. So these are my big priorities. So this month I'm working on trying to get at least 2 surplus posts in my blog queue because I'm trying to build up a little bit of a surplus so that I can get through the move and maybe have a little bit of maternity leave built in there too with my blogging schedule. I also am going to hire out a theme change. I just want to redesign some things on my website. And I want to do more than just a regular theme swap, so I'm probably going to have to hire somebody to do that, but that's all right. And then I want to start a Cricut series. Some of you guys who follow the blog or follow the lives know that I got a Cricut for Christmas, and I've been playing with it and having so much fun with it. And I have discovered that it's very useful for a lot of things planner related. And so I kind of want to do a series to walk you guys through some of those projects and how you can really maximize it for your planning, and even for other things too, just for general paper crafts, which are a lot of fun. So that's kind of what I'm working on. My quote this month, I've really been focusing on imagination and trying to be more creative. So this month my quote is, "Logic will take you from A to B, imagination will take you everywhere," and Albert Einstein said that. And I have some quick notes here down the side, which are just things that I want to remember to do this month. It's just a place where I can put things that don't necessarily have a date associated with them. This portion here is my calendar for the month. I generally only put dated events in here. So I number them 1 through 31 since there are 31 days in March. And then I divide it out into an all-day column to the left of my dates, and then AM, PM, and page flutter, so things that are going on in the blog. So this will be my schedule for the month, which is pretty loose right now because things are a little bit in flux and I'm trying to give my contributors a bit of a break. Anyhow, so that's how that works. It's actually very simple. So all day things here, AM, PM, page flutter. And then March is the 3rd month, and so this is March. Here we go. So once I've created that page, I'm actually going to flip back to my planning routine page. And I made this with you guys during the Planvember series, which is still up on the website. So if you go to pageflutter.com, on the main menu, there's a link called Planvember. And in November, we walked through setting up a new journal for the year. So I made this page and I showed you guys how it's used. And that's what we're going to be using today to kind of keep us on track with that monthly turnover. So this is what we would have done last week. You guys would have seen this. So at the end of the month, I create the monthly scheduling page. That's this one right here. So we made that. That one's done. The next thing I'll do is check birthdays, holidays, future planning, and then a couple of other pages. So let's start with birthdays and holidays. So I'm going to flip back to my birthday and holiday spread. And I'll just check here for major holidays. In March, we've got Daylight Savings. That's coming up this weekend, so don't miss it. St. Patrick's Day, Good Friday, and then we have a family birthday that I need to make sure that I call about. So, so I did that, and then I just moved those over here and marked them in my all day. Okay, so that was the first thing I did. So we checked birthdays and holidays. Now we're going to check the future planning pages for March. I had a tax appointment. I have some guest posts, parent-teacher conferences, spring break, Good Friday. So I've got those kind of marked off. And I moved all of these from March to my March spread. So moved those. Got it. So that one's done. All right, so we can go back to our checklist here. We've done birthdays, holidays, future planning, recurring task list. Now this is one that I created with the help of Kim from Tiny Ray of Sunshine. She was the first person I saw to use one of these. I think they're pretty common. I've had planners that have something very similar in the past, pre-printed in them, but this was very helpful for me. And so these are recurring tasks that are going to happen every single month. And I may add to these throughout the year. But I have a column for each month of the year, and then I just check that at the beginning of each month. So reset my cellular data, give my dog her heartworm medicine, which I did, and I haven't marked it off, so let's do that now. Very important. Okay, so that's done. I sent out my newsletter, and then some of these you'll see are blacked out, and that's because those things don't happen every single month, but they're still really important for me to check. So those are my quarterly taxes. I am technically a small business, so most people who run a blog that makes any kind of income are technically small businesses. Anyway, so I file quarterly taxes. If that's not you, don't worry about it. You probably only have to file taxes once a year. changing the air conditioning filter and stuff like that. So I do those every month. So I'll check that and make sure that I am, and I actually check those kind of throughout the month. So anyway, okay, let's go back to my routine page again, which I just lost. Okay, so we checked that, the recurring tasks. And then big projects. Big projects were, well, I think I put those after this. Yeah, these are in my 2018 pages. So I created this kind of just for a big picture view of what's happening throughout the year, any kind of big projects that I may want to plan. So I can see that this month my big project was decluttering. We're getting ready to move overseas, and that means that we need to get rid of a lot of stuff. We've grown very comfortable in our, big American home standards, and now we're having to kind of rethink those because we have a growing family that's going to move into a much smaller Japanese house. So we're having to adjust our expectations as far as living, which is a really good thing because we've both been really we've really been wanting to focus a lot more on living minimally. So this is a good thing for us, and we have been decluttering and realizing that we don't need nearly as much as we think we do to live a comfortable life. So that's been our big focus this month. Next month I'm headed to a blogging conference, which is going to be so much fun. I went last year and it was awesome. Anyway, and then I've just, so you can kind of see I've got things sort of, just deconflicted throughout the year. Big move in June and things like that. So I'll check that and make sure that I have the right focus for March. And I do. I already have declutter on my list here of things that we're focusing on here at home. And I've got some other things going on work-wise, but I kind of take care of those as they go. So, all right, let's go back to our checklist again and make sure that we're going through it all. So this is really what I do, and I use this every month. I know I've been using a journal for a long, long time, and I've been using a planner style journal for at least 2 years, but I still do this every month to make sure I don't miss anything. So, don't feel bad if you can't do this off the top of your head. I don't think anybody expects you to. So it's okay to give yourself a little checklist to follow so you don't miss anything. Then I'm going to close out my previous month and index the important pages. So when I close out a month, here's what I do. I start from, so this is my March page. I'll start right here. This is my little dashboard that I created between them. And I'm going to flip back to the very beginning of that month. So here's my February page, okay, which I've marked with my monthly label for the page, so I can flip through and see all my monthly pages under this green tab. So I've started here in February. Now I'm just going to flip through page by page and make sure, this was just a brainstorming page. I was awful about my 6-word stories last month. Don't judge me. So this is just a brainstorming page, so I don't have to worry about moving any of these or doing anything with them. This was just a place for me to throw some thoughts. And then if I want to later on, I might be able to flip back through each month's brainstorming page if I get lost or stuck for ideas. So I'm just going to make sure that every single task is accounted for, and in my running task list as well, and make sure that there's nothing missing, that I haven't left anything to slip through the cracks. It looks like I didn't move these, but if I go to the next week, it will actually, I think that we'll actually see them. Let's see. I think this one's actually in March. Here it is. Oh no, I didn't move those. See? So I need to make sure that, and I haven't done my running task list for this week yet, so I need to make sure that all of these are actually moved over here so that I haven't missed any. I've seen some of them I actually took care of, which is great, but I have some of these open ones that need to be moved over. So that's what I'll do. I'm actually going to do that right now so we don't forget. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, and this is my current weekly that just got away from me, and I'm going to go ahead and create my running task list. Do you guys have any questions so far? Am I losing you? Nope. Okay, good. Okay, running tasks. And we'll use green for those. Okay, So let's take a look at them. Let's see what we've got left. I've got, it's a different week, I think. Okay, so some of these are just things that I've been meaning to take care of for a while, but they don't really have a deadline, so they tend to get pushed off. But I try to get a few of them accomplished each week. Otherwise, the list just keeps growing and growing, and it's not good for anybody. Okay, update supply page, which I did a little update on my supply page the other day, but I want to do a good scrub of it. Okay, categories. I have some new categories that I've been wanting to incorporate on the blog, and it's just taken some time to reorganize all of that. Okay. Craigslist. Always listing things on Craigslist. New items. Okay, so I've taken care of these. Go ahead and mark those off. And then some art journal pages. One of my contributors, Tori, she blogs over at Fox and Hazel, and she's very artistic, and she got me into art journaling, and I've been wanting to make more time for it. So sometimes I have to actually be intentional about it and put it down in my journal, or I'll forget to do it. You know, I just get busy with other things. Okay. I think I had two more. Okay. Okay, there, that takes care of that. So we made sure we didn't lose any tasks in the move to the new spread. So, so now we'll double check again and see where we're at. Okay, so that's closing out a previous month for me, is basically just making sure that everything has been addressed. And then I'm going to go ahead and check that everything is indexed in my index. So we'll double check again. So everything from this page backwards should be indexed. So let's make sure it is. I don't index my my weekly pages or my like monthly brainstorming page or the 6-word challenge. I don't index those because I know that those come at the beginning of my monthly pages. So I'll index the monthly page and then anything that came up, like an interesting collection that happened within that month. So we'll flip back to my index here, and you can see here I've got February starting on page 53, so that's good. And then I will skip to page, let's see, the next important one comes up. These are all weeklies and dailies. The next important one comes up with my pregnancy tracker on page 65, which I've indexed there. I also have some spreads for bump photos and pregnancy memories. So I've got those pages starting on page 67. So I've got that down. Hi Gina, glad you made it. And then once those memory pages run out, then I have a little tracker for minimal baby gear that we're gonna get. We're really trying to keep it to the minimums and not get carried away. And then a timeline of things that I need to take care of before the baby comes. I've just got like important things that I need to take care of, especially since right around here when I hit my 3rd trimester is when we're gonna be moving to Japan. So I have a lot of things going on right there as we're expecting the new baby. So I wanted to make sure I had a visual on it. And once I saw it on paper, I realized it actually isn't that bad. So I feel unusually calm about it, and I feel like maybe I should be panicking a little bit more, but I'm not. I feel good about it. So then I've got that indexed on page 75, and then on the next page I've got my baby prep timeline on page 76. The next important page after that is March, and I offset my months. I keep them a little bit. Let me hold this up so you guys can see a little bit better. So I actually put my March to like flush to the left, and then I indent everything that would go beneath it. And that just makes it a little more obvious for me to see. So that's it. That month is closed out as far as I'm concerned. I have put my little sticker on it so I can find it next month, and now I can kind of move on. And I know that I haven't left anything behind in that month, which is great. That's a good feeling. Let's see, here I am back in my routine page. Okay, so the next thing I would want to do is update my planning checklist. That's this one right here. I created my monthly spread. I added my monthly trackers. I can get rid of that. I can cross that off right there. And this is just a little tracker I made for my monthlies just to kind of help keep me on track. I hope you guys can see that. Check my yearly schedule, close out previous month. We did that. Okay. Update the index. We did that. Create goals. I did that. Move unfinished tasks. I did that. And check recurring tasks. We did that. Okay, so we're good for March. And that makes me feel good. So then that means that from there, all I have to do is move on to this end of the week checklist, and then I can move right into my weeklies. Okay? The only other thing I have not done, I think, is labeling my March page. So like I said, I like to do edge labels because it helps me flip through my journal and see things really quickly. So I keep those in the back of my notebook. I know someone's going to ask, but this notebook is a Scribbles That Matter, which is probably obvious from like all of the little icons that they have. They're very, they have a very distinct look to their notebooks. Okay, so I'm gonna take the correct color, which is actually this kind of darker green. I have a light green here and a dark green. So this is the darker green, and I'm gonna line it up with my edge label template here. I want it about that high, okay? And then I'll just fold it over the page. So now when I'm flipping through my notebook, I can see the green dots right here to find my monthly pages really easily. So it's just a way that makes it much easier for me as I'm flipping through. If I want to see every single one of my monthly pages to see what I did, I can just do that. So makes it easier. Okay, so that's basically the monthly page. Now I'll show you kind of for March. If you want, I'll do a quick flip through for you for March. So I started my, the first page here, I just needed to use this page because I wanted to do the Bettering with Lettering Challenge that I've been co-hosting with a few other Instagrammers. I wanted to do my activity for that day on this page. So I skipped this one, did my brainstorming on this page, and then I did my 6-word story prompts, which I need to catch up with because last month I was awful about them. This month I want to be a lot better. And then I started putting the March Bettering with Lettering prompts here, and then I totally changed my mind and said, scratch that, moving this to page 89. I had a weekly in between there that I'm missing a few bullets for, and I need to move those. And then I moved it to this spread so that I could fit them all in. And I have a couple here that I need to catch up with. So today's prompt is, my country is the land of. And so I get to either say something really proud about my country, or I can maybe poke fun at it, I guess. So I might go with the second one because I love my country, but it's a lot more fun to have fun and kind of laugh at yourself, right? So that's it. And then I have the prompts for the rest of the month. And now this is just my current weekly. So we're basically all set. I'm all caught up with everything that I need to be caught up with, and now I'm really just following my daily checklist for the day. So hopefully that gives you guys a better idea. I know I've gotten a few emails from people going, okay, I started, I have my weekly, or I have my monthly, but what do I do now? I don't know what to do with it. So I hope that helps kind of get you guys back on track and kind of help you refocus on keeping your journal organized as you're moving through it. I know it helps me a lot to keep things in line. Otherwise, it just becomes a place where I throw random notes, and that defeats the whole purpose of keeping one because then I can't ever find anything. So, all right, well, that's basically it. Did you guys have any questions? Before I forget, I am going to have to move the time of these. My son is going to be going to school on different days now. So I need to move these to Wednesdays, and we're going to do Wednesday at noon. So I'll leave a little post up about it in a couple of places on the website and on my Facebook page in case you guys want to come to these. And if you have a topic in mind that you really desperately want to talk about at these meetups, then let me know. You can email me, megan@pageflutter.com. You can drop me a comment. You can send me a message on Instagram or Facebook or anything. You can tag your friends for these meetups if you want them to come. But I'm always happy to take requests. If you guys have something that's like a burning topic that you've been wanting to talk about or something you've been wanting to see, please let me know. It helps me design these so that they're more useful for you. To be honest, me personally, like from like a blogging standpoint, I don't actually get a lot of benefit from these. These are all for you guys. So just keep that in mind. This is all about helping you guys out. So if you have something that you really want to see, please let me know and we'll cover it. So that's it. Otherwise, I will see you guys on Wednesday at noon for our next live. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.